Now, it's pretty rare that I'm still awake when SAG is streaming, but this particular day I went on and checked the Super Auto Pets section on Twitch, and there he was, working away in Arena. And I watched for a little while, and there were a bunch of people asking for versus lobbies, even though he didn't plan to do any. So he eventually gave in and decided to go for a random pack. I think he prefers random pack to any of the other types of versus lobbies, which I definitely agree with. Although I think the caveat was that once he randomized the pack, he also made sure that pill and chocolate were in there. I'm not sure if there were any other things that he deliberately added or removed, but I think for the most part it was fairly random. You can see it on screen there. Kind of a mixture of stuff, although there are some notable inclusions that in retrospect maybe should have been removed, but we'll get to them later on. So I decide here on turn 5 to take Mole, and mainly just because I've been playing it a lot lately. It's a fun unit. You don't really think about it as being a unit for versus mode, but I like it. So we're going with it. And we've got Beluga as well, so we can get access to Dolphin with Rice fairly easily, which we already have. And there are a bunch of people in here from the Discord. Here is Vlitz, and I think we're going to win that encounter. It won't be the last time I play against Vlitz in this game. And we're just going to take these perks, even though they're not very good, in order to be able to activate the mole already. So the only issue is that the other teams can also be pilling Beluga or just leveling into Dolphin, or finding Dolphin in the shop. And therefore they can end up killing some of the units that have the perks. But for now, in theory, we should... Okay, we do immediately face a Dolphin team. But yeah, we're going to lose as a result of that, unfortunately. Maybe when I realized... Maybe when I'm playing Dolphin, I should be thinking, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to also play Mole. But once the scaling gets up to a decent level, it's not going to be that big a deal. And of course, we're loading up on perks also makes sense from the point of view of pilling the mole. So once I get to level 2, I can pill it and I'll immediately jump to 1616. Of course, we will lose all the perks, so we then have to rebuy them. But I was fairly committed to the mole from the outset, so that wasn't necessarily a huge issue. Also, we have double rice, so I can recoup some gold that way. Again, we delete a whole bunch of units in the back line with the dolphins. And we're going to win this turn. I did actually play... we played 2 games, or I played 2 lobbies in a row. But because of the nature of versus, it's a bit longer, so I'm going to split it over 2 videos instead of putting them all together into one. So I think here, even after just having not long bought the Dragonfly, I'm going to take Husky. So, I mean, you don't really associate Husky with Mole because you really want to have a bunch of perks. But for now, I'm just going to take the scaling, having got a nice little boost from pilling the Mole. And then we can put one of the perks on the Husky as well, since it doesn't scale itself. And I liked what this team was doing with the Surgeon Fish plus... I was about to say leopard there, lizard, but we ended up deleting most of their team with the dolphins. I'm going to take the level up and get mantis shrimp, which seems like it's probably better than mosquitoes, so we'll get rid, and then put the banana on the husky. Of course, having pilled the mole, we didn't get the benefit of the rice on the mosquito, but didn't really matter too much. The stats gained from pilling the mole was just too good to pass up. And we've got some other interesting snipe pets in the pack. We've got the dart frog plus swordfish and cobra there as well. And there is a pepper, which I really should take the pepper on the mole. Not really too big a deal if it loses out on the 1-1 from the husky just now. and we'll take the partial level on the mantis shrimp. I wasn't really planning ahead here. I was just, trying to enjoy it. I think part of the reason I prefer the versus lobbies to 1v1 is just the fact that it's more like arena. You're only really concentrating hard when you get to the very end. Or at least that's the way I approach it. And so it's just much more relaxed. And there's no game sound here because I had the stream on in the background. And so SAG was just chatting away. And, I always like to listen to him. So, we're just waiting here. And I'll try and fast forward as many of the pauses as possible. Again, it's Surgeonfish Lizard. Not sure if it's the same team. It might just be two teams doing the same thing. But it's an easy win. And I think actually, maybe that was Swanee. I think that was the person who gifted me a sub to SAG while I was in there, which was I thought was very nice and kind of amusing because I'm on Twitch so little that I don't know. It's not the first time I've been gifted a sub, and but I rarely ever get the opportunity to use it. But I guess SAG benefits from it, so that's nice. So here's Blitz again, and Monkey on board. Banana Pill is the thing that I was going to mention earlier, that it was kind of regrettable that it was in the pack. I think at this point, SAG did mention on the commentary that it was only me and him that weren't running Monkey. And we're now up to three more perks, and I'm going to give the mole Pepper since there are lots of swordfish about. Yeah, you can see here the other three teams have Monkey and SAG has Dragonfly. Like I did have Dragonfly and then got rid of it. Mantis Shrimp plus Dolphin gets rid of the front unit, and we're summoning a 24-24, so that's an easy win there. So we're rapidly closing in on the final stages. I think I'll take the level up on the... Okay, I'm going for Bird of Paradise first. I'm not sure if that was the best decision. Maybe I should have just gone for the level on the Mantis Shrimp straight away. Who's next? Again, I in between, I am checking what the other teams are doing. I'm just cutting all of that out for the sake of time. And this team looks quite good, but the mole respawning, I think, is enough stats that we end up winning. I mean, if you think about it, mole 24-24 level 3 mole summoning another 24-24 is basically 50-50. So we get the level 2 on the Bird of Paradise, which is good. And I'll freeze the Mantis Shrimp for just now. Another quick check of the lineups. Swordfish is a little bit of a complication. I want to make sure that the mole stays the highest health unit because it has the pepper, so it can tank the hit from the swordfish. So here we go against SAG. Of course, I didn't think about also having Mantis Shrimp and therefore killing the mole even though it had the pepper. But thankfully we got away with it. And then I'm going to put Popcorn on the Bird of Paradise just in case one of the other ones got sniped for some reason. And I think here I switched the egg to the fortune cookie. However, I think I make a bit of a mistake here with the order, because I get matched with Blitz and then the octopus gets killed, the mole respawns. Maybe it's this turn. I'm not sure if it's this turn or not. I think it is. But here, if I'd changed the order of the dolphins, I think that would have been a tie. But now you can see I rearranged the two dolphins. So yeah, that was a mistake. That would have been... Yeah, it's down to just me versus Blitz now. I think I'm going to replace the meat bone with the pancakes. And then we'll just take the 2.66 on the Mantis Shrimp. And I don't really bother rearranging the order. We end up... It's the same as before, but we don't quite have enough to kill the octopus outright because of the monkey scaling. And also there's level 2 elephant seal as well. We end up losing second place to Blitz. GG. Now, the fact that I came in second probably ended up making the decision for me in terms of whether or not I was going to hang around for the next lobby, although it was quite late at night. And here, I'm picking it up quite late on turn 9 just to keep this video a little bit shorter. But having looked at the pack, which was again randomized, I had decided from the beginning that I wanted to go for macaque. And I think there were a few interesting things in this pack, and we'll probably see one of them on SAG's team a bit later. But I decide here to use the level 2 lobster, get some stats onto the mosasaurus, and now I'm just deciding whether or not to sell the lobster or the tar. I think chili was quite good in this pack, if I remember rightly. And at some point I think I am going to give it to the doorhead ant, but not just yet, and we'll freeze turtle because we can pill it onto the macaque and then get the extra melon. So versus caged, also with the doorhead ant, and luckily our one has just enough health there, I think, to survive, and we win. We get the boost. It was quite fortunate here, really, when you look at it, that we had chameleon and stingray and mosasaurus all in the same random pack. So I think for a lot of players, that's like obviously going to be a go-to option for scaling. And I think it's definitely important to get the macaque's health up, because it always feels like a wasted slot on the team, even though it's generating the large orangutan. Having it with low stats can also mean that it gets, the melon gets sniped early, and then you don't get the melon on the start of battle trigger for the orangutan. So also turtle at the front for this team, and it's kind of the mechanical build with the elephant seal receiving the melon and then giving stats to the other team, which is quite nice. It doesn't really stand up to my sheer raw stats team though. So lobster can just depart, having given stats to the bird of paradise. And I think I ended up with bird of paradise at the end of the last game as well. And we're very rapidly closing in on level 3 macaque here. We don't have a toy though, so the mosasaurus isn't really doing anything. But I think once I get the macaque leveled up, or the bird of paradise leveled up, we can spend more time looking for the buy cells. So here is SAG's team, and he did mention on the stream that he was going to go for axolotl plus, perk scaling, and he's got the turtle there. A lot of people had turtle at the front. Not surprising, really. I guess it's very, very good still. Always has been. And here, even though having triple slot frozen, I end up getting all 3 macaques that I need. And there's a stingray in an empty slot as well. So it is just all coming up grounded here. And I'm not even bothering to check the opposing teams until after I've clicked the button. I'm pretty bad at that. You really should be having a look to see. So here's Vlitz, my mortal enemy from the previous game. Mantis shrimp plus tar at the front, so it's a draw. But I think I'm going to get quite a boost here when I level up the macaque, or I'm going to pill chameleon first. We can do that next turn, because we've got a turn to wait on the flashlight, and I'm also freezing salt. Maybe I'm just checking what the other perks were there. I guess I could give salt to the mosasaurus. I feel like salt is probably quite underused. I should maybe do a video of 5 full team of salt pets. So I'm not sure what I'm thinking about here. Am I thinking about pilling turtle onto mosasaurus as well? Its stats aren't really all that great to have melon. And we get matched with SAG again. There's also eggplant, so that can make a difference, although I'm not sure it really matters here. Even with elephant seal and axolotl, it's not good enough to keep up with the toy plus bird of paradise scaling here. So Pill Chameleon onto the Doorhead Ant. Maybe I could have done that onto the Mosasaurus instead. I'm not sure. But they're both keepers at this point anyway, I think. I'm just going to take the salt so that I've actually spent my gold on something other than just rolling. And rearranging, although I'm not sure it really matters because of the Doorhead Ant's ability. It doesn't matter where it goes, even if it gets moved by Eggplant, it's still going to jump to the front. Blitz again. Now, I am starting to think about the fact that it's level 3 Mantis Shrimp, or although actually maybe that wasn't level 3 because the Pug didn't have high enough attack. But I would quite like to counter that, so we're going to put Potato on the Bird of Paradise and move it to the front. Or maybe I don't move it to the front in this round, but because I just faced Blitz. But if you put the Bird of Paradise with Potato right to the front, that means that all the Mantis Shrimp shots will get completely wasted, because the Potato will tank the first two, and then the Bird of Paradise, I guess to begin with, the Bird of Paradise would die at the moment, but very soon it's going to have high enough health that it will tank all three shots. So here we get matched with Alistair, and then the Cobra and Porcupine both hit the front unit there, the Doorhead Ant. I think that was kind of unlucky because it could have removed Melon. I'm not sure if it made any difference or not, but I've also got the Chameleon still frozen just in case I find another Stingray. I don't think I'm going to freeze a second one though. Nope. So now the Bird of Paradise is at 11 health, so it will tank all three shots from the Mantis Shrimp. There might be a way to mess me up with Eggplant beforehand, and then the Mantis Shrimp snipes go off. I'm not sure, but it definitely seems like this team is strong enough to carry me to the finish line. And a lot of the time when you're playing 4 squads at the end, you would throw in a pet for the 5th slot with an ability, but can't really do that with Macaque. So we're leaving it as a 4 squad. And again, the Bird of Paradise tanks the snipes. I think the Eggplant has been replaced now as well. And we're going to win in the end. So 1 to me, 1 to Blitz. But by that point, it was just too late and I had to pack it in. But good games to everyone that was involved. And thanks to SAG for playing some lobbies, even though he didn't originally intend to.